He must have a real hard first call there. The Raiders prepared a lot this week to go, against quick counts as well. So maybe
Oh, okay.
maybe O'Keefe isn't, doing as many quick counts, and he's kind of slowing it up a little bit, and that might be throwing the Raiders off too.
So basically now it's 2nd and a long 4 after the 5-yard penalty. Give it to Doak right up the gut, and he's able to lunge forward for a gain of 2, which will bring up 3rd and close to 3. Logan Schutte, Brady Ginnebacher in on the tackle for QND, and Matt Horvath was in on the play as well, and he gets up flexing his leg a little bit. So 3rd and short for Alleman, and I'll probably say that about 175 more times today.
Let's see if QND tries to send a linebacker or two here and try to guess right. I imagine Alleman will go to Doak, somewhere between the guards.
3:20 left to go, first quarter. Alleman leading 6-0. Pioneers have a 3rd and 2 from the Raider 43. O'Keefe runs the option, goes right up the gut and has the first down. Moves the pile just inside the 40. QND fans cheering that the Raiders push O'Keefe back, but he already had the necessary yards for the first down before the Raiders defense shoved him backwards. So 1st and 10 Alleman. Only about a 3-yard carry for O'Keefe, but the Pioneers only needed 2.
Yeah, that time it was a offsides penalty.
Yep.
Kind of doing QND in there. They 3 nice defensive plays on that series, but you gave him a free 5.
3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Ball at the QND 40. 1st and 10 Alleman. Leading 6-0 are the Pioneers. Raiders blitz. They pitch it to Dorsey, trying to get the corner turned. He does. He's got 5 and knocked off his feet on a good tackle over there on the far sideline. And boy, they gave him a generous spot. They say Dorsey left his feet on the tackle and was able to reach the ball over the Raider 35 close to the 34. So a gain of 6 for Dorsey. And it will bring up 2nd and 4 for Alleman.
Scratch that. It looked like it was Bailey on the tackle. Nice try there by Taylor Marcus. He was kind of able to. Marcus was able to get O'Keefe to kind of round it out, but
here's 2nd and 4, and they pitch it to Hubble. Hubble stutter steps a little bit, gets around a tackle, and is knocked out of bounds right at the first down marker, but I think he'll have it. Not how you draw it up, Kyle, at least how you want the running back to run, but he had enough room that he could do lots of dances out there, and he picks up the first down as they're going to mark Matt Hubble out at the Raider 29.
Credit Hubble as well there for making a Raider miss. That we talked a little about open field tackling, making a big difference on the pitch plays once you shed a block. And that time, QND had an opportunity there to maybe take him down near the line of scrimmage, but Hubble made the Raider miss and picked up the first down.
Pioneers started this drive at their own 25. They now have it at the Raider 29, 1st and 10. Dorsey goes in motion. They pitch it to Kylie Dorsey, trying to turn the corner, and he will be hit and keeps his balance, but now a flag flies. Dorsey picked up at least 7 on the play. Well, now where they're marking it, Dorsey picked up 3 on the play, but a flag flies in.
Tyler Marcus slow to get up. I think they might be getting a block in the back. Nice job by Chappell and the run support there. Okay, hold.
A holding foul on QND, and then face mask on QND. So the penalty's offset, and we'll replay the down. So the ball is right back to the 29, and we'll replay first down. Holding on Alleman, face mask on QND. So 1st and 10 Pioneers from the Raider 29, 2:05 left to go first quarter, and Alleman leading QND 6-0. Shift the hash marks, though. Alleman will start this play from the right hash rather than the left hash, which makes no sense considering the play was on the far sideline.
And finished out of bounds.
So 1st and 10 Alleman from the Raider 29. Out of the wishbone, single receiver far side. Kevin O'Keefe, the quarterback, turns, gives it to Hubble, right up the gut, steps through a couple tackles, but is knocked down at the 25 for a gain of 4. It will be 2nd and 6 for Alleman.
Raiders mixed things up a little bit defensively there in a 5-4 set, so no safety. A 5-4 with Chappell and Welper at the corner spots. Really trying to slow down that the inside game, slow Doak up the middle.
1:40 left to go first quarter. 2nd and 6 Alleman from the Raider 25. Pioneers lead the Raiders 6-0. Kevin O'Keefe leads the Pioneers to the line of scrimmage. Double wing set, single receiver, tight to the far side. O'Keefe, and the Raiders jump again. Or did the wide receiver move, Kyle?
Well, I'm not sure who went first. Certainly Alleman jumped before the ball was snapped. I'm not sure if they did it after QND. Let's see what the referees decide.
Looks like QND got the penalty called on them from the way Austin Tabby's reacting. No, they call it on Alleman
Okay.
instead.
All right.
Nice poker face from Austin Tappy, by the way.
Make him pay here, QND.
Well, that's the important thing, Kyle.
Make
Moves
him
him back
pay.
5 yards, so it's 2nd and 11 now rather than 2nd and 6 with the ball just outside the Raider 30. And I would imagine Alleman's going to go 4-down territory here going into the wind in this first quarter, or at least a crosswind that's tougher to go through with just over a minute to play in this first quarter. So 2nd and 11 for Alleman, the ball at the Raider 30. Double wing. And the wide receiver to the far side is tight to the tackle. Raiders jump and give the 5 yards right back. Jake Ballkamp, I believe, jumped in the neutral zone. Offsides on QND.
QND, it's just I mentioned a minute ago. It's almost like once O'Keefe gets under center, they're expecting him to rock and roll right away once he gets set. So they're really kind of anticipating that, and O'Keefe not in as big a hurry as QND's anticipating.
So, after the exchange of 5-yard penalties, it's 2nd and 5 for Alleman. And they fumble the snap. It's still loose, but it looks like Doak was able to dive and jump on it at the Raider 25, so no gain on the play. Will bring up 3rd and 5 for Alleman.
Looks like QND maybe making one adjustment here in the option play. That time when the running back went in motion, I didn't catch which Pioneer it was.
Dorsey.
QND's opposite side linebacker went ahead and started blitzing, so they're really, as that person goes in motion, trying to get leverage on that far side, QND's just going to go ahead and send a linebacker. That time it was Kensel.
Now they respot the ball, Kyle, and Alleman loses a yard. Now O'Keefe rolls out to the near side, has room to run if he wants it. He does. No, he fires behind the receiver, incomplete. Brings up 4th and about 5 for Alleman. If O'Keefe keeps that, Kyle, I don't think he gets tackled until he gets to the first down.
Yeah, you're right. Credit to Horvath with chasing O'Keefe. Once he was able to get around Horvath, though, it's almost like he wanted to throw it before Horvath got to him.
Right.
But then he was able to get around him. I agree with you. Probably had more time than he realized.
So actually it's 4th and closer to 6 for Alleman with the ball at the Raider 26-yard line. Alleman 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions in this game. 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Alleman facing 4th and 6. Leading 6-0 are the Pioneers. Double wing, single receiver far side. O'Keefe takes the snap, drops straight back, under pressure. Now fires towards the end zone. Knocked away, incomplete. Matt Hummel and Parker Kinsel having quite the battle over on the far sideline right by the pylon. And Kinsel got a hand on it, and I was fearing that it was going to bounce right up the Hummel for the touchdown, but it fell to the ground incomplete.
You're right. Terrific coverage there from a linebacker. Kinsel sticking with Hubble on the wheel route. Right in his pocket. As the ball was in the air, I was also afraid Kensel wasn't going to turn around, but got turned around, knocked the ball down, and kudos there to the Raiders defensively to after giving up the yards, but certainly keeping the Pioneers off the scoreboard.
So it turns out about a 49-yard drive for Rock Island Alleman, but they come away empty. But the Pioneers lead it 6-0 with 7 seconds left to go here in this first quarter.
QND about to run their 5th play of the quarter and receive the opening kickoff.
Yep. Out of the I, receiver split to both sides. Joe McKay gets under center, and they give it to Anders on the counter, and the Pioneers smother him. Dalen Anders on his first touch of the game lost a yard. So Alleman is winning the line of scrimmage battle by a decent margin in this game. We played 12 minutes. Rock Island Alleman leads QND 6-0. Back for the second quarter in 1 minute on WTAD.
Natalie Stratton of Advanced Physical Therapy talks from the heart about building relationships with her patients.
We do develop relationships with people, and by doing that, they can trust you because they build that rapport with you so they can trust you, and they start to tell you more, and so you learn more about their medical condition or just their life condition, and so it does allow you to, direct them in different ways. And you're seeing some people 2 or 3 times a week, for that half hour to an hour of that one-on-one time. time. Plus, we love it. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm in the profession. I like those relationships with people. I see that as a success in treatment. If I can get people to trust me and trust what I'm saying, they're going to buy into what I'm saying. That's why, again, I try to go and do everything I can, new techniques or new ways or different approaches to getting people better. And the more I do that, then, again, you can kind of take people to that next level.
Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. On the web at advancept.net. Advance through life with Advance.
Trailing Rock Island Alleman 6-0. Tim Kinship with Kyle Vemberlo, Kevin Payne, our producer. And the Raiders looking at a 2nd and 11 to start this second quarter, trailing 6-0 and going into the wind for this second quarter. Raiders come out power, icing receiver far side. Parker Kinsel goes in motion towards the far side. Ball on the left hash. McKay takes the snap, sets up the screen, floats it out to Anders, who's got room to run. He's got 5 and then tackled from behind. And that denies Anders the first down on the screen. What a great recovery by the Alleman defense, but the Raiders pick up close to 10 yards.
You're right, some real good pursuit there from behind. Anders had lots of room. It looks like he stumbled just a little bit. That probably kept him from really getting the motor going. So nice job there from QND to make this a much more manageable 3rd down.
3rd and about a yard for QND. Actually, 3rd and about a 1.5 for the QND Raiders. Ball just outside the Raider 35-yard line. Turn, give it to Brady Ginnebacher. He pops through the hole. He's got the first down, and it's out to the Raider 40-yard line. So a pickup of close to 4 on 3rd and inches.
All right, so let's see if QND can show us some rhythm here offensively. You certainly want to get to at least midfield or the opposite 40 here. You mentioned going against the wind. You don't want to have to punt against this some of the stiff breeze.
So from their own 40, 1st and 10 QND. They come out in the spread. Anders sidecar right. Ball out near the left hash. McKay takes the snap, fires the slant, and it's complete to Ginnebacher, who wrestles and gets over the 45 to about the 46 for a gain of 6.
Nice catch there by Ginnebacher. Knew he was in traffic, so got both arms on the ball and just tried to fall forward. So QND showing a little bit here through the air, and they're breaking the huddle and hopefully picking up the timing here and picking up some rhythm offensively.
Once again, they reset the ball, and it's a gain of about 7 for QND. McKay takes the snap, gives it to Anders, and he gets plowed under, basically at the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure what QND ran there, Kyle. That was more out of the pistol than anything else, because it was almost an inside give to Anders, which we haven't seen all season long, and Alleman just smothered Dalen Anders once he took the handoff.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit different look, and Alleman was prepared for it anyway.
Well, Alleman's defensive line, that was basically whip the guy in front of you and wait for a guy in white to come near me. 3rd and about 3 for QND from their own 47. The Raiders go spread. McKay takes the snap, fires the inside slant. It's knocked down. Doak got his hands on it before it could even get the Chapel on the slant pattern. Connor Doak proving his worth on defense here, and the Raiders are going to be forced to punt it away. They had 3rd and 3 to QND and come up empty.
Yeah, trying to hit Welper on the slant pattern. And Doak just able to get his left arm up and knock it down with his outside arm. So QND will punt just shy of midfield. And hopefully Little can uncork one like he had in the first quarter.
Raiders will punt this ball away from their own 35. And what do we have?
Yeah, they could call this on Pioneers. It was Tappy moved as well for QND, but I'm not sure which way they're going to call this.
Raider coaching staff were yelling at the linesman on the near side right in front of the QND bench, and he turned immediately and said, all right, we got it, hold on.
The Raiders,
the Raiders are walking backwards, though. And you hear the reaction from the QND fans right below us.
Yeah, big would have resulted in a first down.
So it's a 5-yard walk-off on QND, their 3rd penalty. And Alleman has 3 penalties as well. So the Raiders now have 4th and 8 from their own 42, and Little will have to do it again. Takes a snap, runs forward, and hits a nice high kick that dies in the wind over towards the far sideline and goes out of bounds at the Alleman 30-yard line. All in all, pretty good kick from Zeke Little.
Real nice contact. I mean, you could hear his foot make contact with it all the way up here in the booth. So
if he has the wind behind him, that ball probably goes 50 or 60 yards.
I agree with you.
As it is, the punt by Zeke Little goes 29 yards, but that's just how strong the wind is, folks. He kicked that ball a good 50 yards, and the wind knocked down 20 of it. So 1st and 10 Alleman from their own 29, leading 6-0 are the Pioneers as it begins to get a little bit darker here in the Quad Cities. And O'Keefe keeps it, and Kellen Barnes knocks him down. O'Keefe wanted to run the option to the near corner, and Kellen Barnes got penetration and got enough of O'Keefe to knock down the Alleman quarterback for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, it looked like the linebackers as well really selling out and following that the guy in motion there. So when they motioned to the far side of the field, they were all over it. So Barnes doing a nice job there and bringing down O'Keefe. So, again, putting Alleman behind the chains. You might say 3rd and short a lot today. I'm going to talk about behind the chains a lot. We'll see who says that more often.
Out of the double wing, the fullback is Connor Doak. And O'Keefe keeps it and pitches it late to Hubble, who's got room to run. He's got 5, he's got 10, and he's inside the 40. He ducked a tackle, did Matt Hubble, and finally gets pushed out of bounds on the Raider side of the field at the 48. That's a pickup of 25 yards for Matt Hubble, and boy, did Alleman set that play up beautifully.
Yeah, they did. Ginnebacher getting to O'Keefe real quick. I think Horvath as well. So, they forced the pitch from O'Keefe about right away, and Hubble was able to take it right in stride and kind of went unchecked. Not sure if that was a missed assignment there on the far side or exactly, just excellent blocking from Alleman.
So 1st and 10 Alleman inside Raider territory at the QND 48. Turn, give it to Connor Doak. He tries to bounce it outside, gets hit twice, but he keeps his feet and falls forward at about the 45-yard line for a gain of 3. That was Connor Doak versus Luke Frieden, and then Chappell trying to help out. And Doak won that battle against 2 Raiders to pick up 3.
Yeah, big, strong guy. Doak is 5'11", listed at 5'11", 198. So he's real low to the ground. Luke Frieden did a nice job. Just needed a little bit quicker help there from his teammates to bring him down. But Doak able to kind of keep the play going and then lunge forward.
2nd and 7 Alleman from the Raider 45. Alleman leading 6-0. Hubble goes in motion. O'Keefe keeps it. And now pitches it late to Hubble off his face mask, but Hubble catches it. And then Welper comes up to grab him and guide him out of bounds for a gain of about 2. And it's going to bring up 3rd. Well, now they're marking it as a gain of 1. Let's wait and see here. They are going to mark it at the Raider 44 for a gain of 1 and bring up 3rd and 6 for the Alleman Pioneers.
Well, nice job there by Welper. That time, Ginnebacher was the outside linebacker on that play, and they kind of suck you in. They want that outside linebacker to kind of go inside of that block.
Yeah.
Because they know they're running the ball outside, so Ginnebacher kind of got sucked inside. So after that pitch, Welper was kind of the only man out there. So credit Welper there for a nice tackle.
Alleman facing 3rd and 6 from the Raider 44. Double wing, Dorsey comes in motion. They fake the Dorsey, flag down, O'Keefe fires, and it's intercepted by Jordan Chappell at the 20-yard line, and then the flag flies in.
I'm not sure if they're going to get someone for offsides here.
We got 2 flags down, Kyle. We have 1 at the line of scrimmage and 1 after Chappell made the interception. Over in Missouri, Blair Oaks leading Palmyra at halftime, 15-6. So we're going to have to sort things out here where the officials are. We have a flag laying at the Raider 44, and we have a flag laying at the Raider 20. So we had 2 officials get together and talk. Now one of those officials comes and talks to the white hat.
And the Raiders flinched, but I don't think they jumped off sides.
So what do we have? Oh, the clock's been running the whole time? That's not good. Illegal shift on Alleman.
Okay.
And they wave off the flag. So it should be QND's ball.
Yeah, he kind of left that part out.
It should be QND's ball at the 20 on the interception.
Well, is he saying that, the play happened. He's not trying to say that.
Yeah, so now they're going to walk back. It's an offensive penalty. They didn't blow it dead right away, so the play must go on. And if that's the case, it's an interception.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Chappell with the big play on 3rd down. And it stands. It was a nice play if it didn't stand, but now it stands, and Chappell gets a turnover for QND.
And they will mark the ball at the Raider 18-yard line. So Alleman goes to the air, Kyle, and Jordan Chappell picks off the pass. And that's the first turnover of the game on Alleman. And the Raiders take over at their own 17-yard line, 17 or 18. Looks like the 18. 1st and 10 QND.
Well, credit QND so far in pass defense. Sometimes you sell out against this run, you leave someone open downfield. We saw Kensel with a great play on 4th down the previous drive. This time it was Chappell with the interception. Alleman's completed, they completed a 4th down pass in their first drive, but even that was kind of through coverage and a real nice play by O'Keefe, really showing some patience. So QND doing a nice job in the passing game. Coach Cannell is trying to get this scoreboard operator to put 8:02.
With the help of the QND fans, they were able to get that done.
The fans pick up a chant of 8:02.
So the Raiders take over after the interception at their own 18, 1st and 10. Trailing 6-0 are the Raiders. QND comes out in the I formation. Receiver split to both sides. Enters the deep back, Ginnenbacher to fullback. Long count from the Raiders. McKay fakes, and they run the lightning play, but it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Alec Diab.
6'6", 243. Tough to get around Diab, so he's at the defensive end spot there and reaches out with his left hand and knocks it down. So, QND, talked about this week as well. Alleman plays pretty soft in the corners, so they would want to get the ball real quick to the receivers, see if they can make a move one-on-one on the outside. That time, Diab didn't allow it to get out there.
4 out of 7 is Joe McKay for 27 yards. 2nd and 10 QND from their own 18. Out of the I, receiver split to both sides. Long count again from the Raiders. McKay turns, gives it to Anders. He pops the line, gets pushed forward for a gain of 3 or 4. Defense on the spot, but Anders is across the Raider 20. And it looks like they're going to put him down just short of the 22. So a gain of about 4 for the Raiders brings up 3rd and a long 6.
Nice job from QND up front. It looked like there was a little bit more there, and Anders kind of had someone from the side able to get to his hip to bring him down. Alleman running predominantly in a 5-2 with the corners back at about 10 yards and one of the safeties at about 8 or 9.
Raiders go spread here. Anders sidecar right, 2-by-2 the receivers. McKay takes the snap. Looking left, fires, hits Chappell, but he had to come back to catch the pass, and good coverage over there will knock Chappell down short of the first down. Brady Hoskins, I believe that was.
It was 27, Ewald.
Oh, Stephen Ewald making the play. So the Raiders needed 6, they get 4. As Chappell didn't go to the sticks and cut back, he came back to catch the pass and cost himself 2 yards on the pattern. So the Raiders will have to punt it away again here for the 3rd time this afternoon. Under 7 minutes to play first half, and Alleman leading 6-0.
The wind's kind of died down here a little bit. This would have been against the wind a few minutes ago.
Oh, now Alleman jumps in the neutral zone. Boy, there's a lot of antsy kids on the front line for both teams, isn't there?
There sure are. The refs are keeping busy today with these offsides calls. That time looked like QND went with a hard count. You saw a couple guys kind of huddling up there before the ball was snapped. They said, we're not just going to go on the normal punt count. That time they delayed it and got the offsides penalty. Walker Smith, among a couple QND players there in the field, excited about getting that penalty. He throws both arms up.
Hey, we got a first down.
We got a first down.
Takes the ball to the Raider 31. It's 1st and 10 QND. I formation, receiver split to both sides, tied in to the far side, ball on the left hash. McKay turns, fakes, still has it. Looking, fires, a wobbly pass over the middle, incomplete. Welper never got to the middle of the field to try and catch that pass. And it's incomplete and brings up 2nd and 10 for QND.
Well, credit Ewald again there on the coverage. Welper was trying to get his hips turned, kind of cut inside and cut back outside. I think part of the reason that was such a ugly pass, it almost, maybe when Joe McKay was getting ready to throw it, Welper, cut the other way. So he almost wanted to pull it back before he threw it.
So the Raiders have 2nd and 10 from their own 31. Ball on the left hash. Raiders go spread here. 2-by-2 the receivers. Anders sidecar right. McKay takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Fires, and it's knocked down by Doak again. Connor Doak is just dropping, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, Kyle, reading McKay's eyes and just jumping up and knocking down passes.
Yeah, he's kind of sitting on that seam route there.
Yep.
That time just trying to get Chappell right up the seam for about 8 yards down the field, and Doak's just having himself a game in the pass defense as well. As more umbrellas are coming out here as the rain falls.
Raiders go empty here. 3-by-2 the receivers, 3 to the near side, 2 to the far side. On 3rd and 10, McKay takes the snap. Looking left the whole way, fires, and that's off the hands of Ginnenbacher, incomplete. Ewald with the coverage over there on the far sideline. And the Raiders get the penalty on the offsides infraction and then go 3 and out after that.
Yeah, they try with 3 pass attempts here and go 0 for 3. So QND unable to take advantage of that penalty.
And Kyle, you got to like what Alleman is doing defensively, especially with the wind this strong and the Raiders going into the wind. Makes even more sense to kind of drop and squat.
Sure.
as Little pounds another punt. And, oh, boy, the wind really catches this one and knocks it down. And that's going to be a short punt, but not because of Zeke Little's leg. It was just diagonal and into the wind, which was a bad combination. They're going to mark it out of bounds at the Alleman 47. So only about a 22-yard punt, but Zeke Little is pounding the ball today.
Yeah, he did. That time he punted from the left hash. Probably hit a little bit to the left, but then the wind also really took it, as you pointed out. That ball landed well onto the track.
So 1st and 10 Alleman. Pioneers leading 6-0. They take over at their own 47. Wishbone look here. Turn, give it to Hubble. Picking his way through traffic. He's got 4, maybe 5 yards into Raider territory.
QND in the backfield there. Able to get their hands on Hubble right around the line of scrimmage, but Hubble kind of ducked back inside there to pick up a few critical yards, make this a much more manageable 2nd down.
4-yard pickup for Matt Hubble makes it 2nd and 6 from the Raider 49-yard line. And with the wind and rain, Alleman going, well, they're going wishbone here with a single receiver. They turn, they give it to Doak, I believe. No, it's Dorsey, 35, not 33, and Dorsey gets to the Raider 45 for a gain of 4. And hey, what do you know? It's 3rd and short for Alleman.
3rd and short. Now the sun's back out.
3rd and 2 for Alleman from the Raider 45. Pioneers leading 6-0. We have 5:10 left to go in this 2nd quarter. QND received the opening kick, ran one play, and turned it over. So basically, Alleman's going to get the ball to start each half. Out of the wishbone, 3rd and 2, give it to Hubble, and he picks his way through traffic and ends up at the Raider 39 for a 1st down and a pickup of 6.
Yeah, if QND can hold here, they obviously make a huge difference in this ball game. If you're able to go into halftime, even if you're down 7-0, and able to say, guys, there wasn't a whole lot that went our way this 1st half, and we're only down 7. This is a winnable game. It would be, you'd think that'd give QND some motivation anyway, some momentum.
I want to piggyback that point here just a second. Out of the wishbone, single receiver from the Raider 39, ball on the right hash. They turn, they give it to Dorsey, who runs right into the pile and bounces out of it somehow and picks up 5. It just seemed like Kylie Dorsey took that handoff. Kyle went, where's the pile at? Ran right into it, then bounced off it, squirmed, and got 5 yards.
Yeah, QND again had a chance to put him in a 2nd and 10 there. That play, Dorsey, not quite as crisp. No, it took him a long time to get to that handoff.
To piggyback your point, the way Alleman runs their offense, basically 3 or 4 yards every play, if Alleman winds down the rest of this quarter, scores, then gets the ball to start the 2nd half, it's basically 2 for 1. On 2nd and 5, give it to Hubble. Again, he dances in the hole, looks for his hole, and gets pounded backwards, but picks up 3. Well, picks up 2 to the Raider 32, and it brings up 3rd and 3 for Alleman.
Real big hair play for QND. This will certainly be 2-down territory for Alleman.
Yep.
Let's call it 4-down terror, I suppose I should say.
And after O'Keefe threw an interception on the last pass attempt, you got to figure Alleman's just going to keep it on the ground here on both plays.
Yeah, QND pass defense, they've done a nice job each time. So I imagine we'll see Connor Doak here on this 3rd down.
3.5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. 3rd and 3 for Alleman from the Raider 32, and another timeout by Alleman as the running back Kylie Dorsey didn't line up in the right spot to begin the play. We'll take a 30-second timeout. QND trailing Rock Island Alleman 6-0. 3rd and 3 for the Pioneers when we come back here in 30 seconds on WTAD.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
QND 6-0 here on a windy, wet Saturday afternoon in the Quad Cities. Tim and Kyle with you. And the Raiders they're playing adequately, but they need to play better if they expect to win this game, Kyle.
You're right. They're kind of just hanging in there a little bit. Defensively, they've just given up that one score on the super short field, and even that first drive for Alleman, might have been a 20-yard drive, but it took them It took 10 plays almost. I mean, 8 took a whole.
Yeah, they only had to go 21 yards, but Alleman needed a fourth down conversion to keep the drive alive. On 3rd and 3, give it to Dorsey. Bounce it to the outside. We'll have the first down, and Moore slips a tackle and be guided out of bounds by Jordan Chappell inside the Raider 20.
That time QND kind of sold out on the inside. Counter play, kind of a crossbuck play there to Dorsey. Keeps up the left-hand side. Gets out of bounds. Throws a stiff arm there to one would-be tackler, and Pioneers in the red zone.
14-yard pickup for Kylie Dorsey. He has 44 yards on 6 carries. Matt Hubble has 60 yards on 10 carries. Connor Doak has 16 yards on 7 carries. O'Keefe, no yards on 4 carries. Double wing. Doak the fullback. Hubble goes in motion. O'Keefe still has it. Pitches it late to Hubble. Has room to run. He's got 3. He's got 5. Slips 2 tackles. Dances around 2 more. Cuts inside the 10. Still is alive. Wrestling with Welper. Scores. Fumbles into the end zone. Who jumped on it?
Oh, he gave him a touch. Pioneers recover. Looks like Hubble recovered it somehow. Credit Welper there with the fumble, or forcing the fumble, but Hubble found his way back to it.
18-yard run by Matt Hubble, and he made 6 Raiders miss tackles there.
He did. It was Ginnebacher forced O'Keefe to pitch it, and it wasn't a real quick pitch. He kind of strung it out, which is what you want to do against that option.
Right.
So there's plenty of time to get pursuit over there, and several of them ran over pursuit, so to speak, cut back inside.
Here's Graves. No, they faked the extra point attempt, and rolling out with it is O'Keefe, and he will get the 2-point conversion.
That was a bad snap. It was a fumbled snap. The snap was right along the ground. O'Keefe picked it up and ran.
So with 3:03 left to go in the first half, Alleman has an 8-point possession, and Rock Island Alleman leads QND 14-0. Back in 30 seconds. This is Raider football on WTAD.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. But that was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. My dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
Goes 54 yards on that touchdown drive. Matt Hubble finishing it off with an 18-yard run on an option pitch going around the right corner. And Alleman leading 14-0, Kyle. And Raiders getting a taste of their own medicine. Last week, QND ran 33 plays to 3 for Piatone in the first half at about this point in the ball game last week. Today, Alleman's run 32 plays to QND's 15. Graves will put it back in play for Alleman, and it's a short kick aimed right at Barry Welper. He takes it at his own 15-yard line, takes off to the middle of the field. Has room to run, slips a tackle, keeps his balance, and then gets bottled up at about the 30, 31-yard line. So the Raiders have decent field position, starting at their own 31, trailing 14-0. The Raiders, I don't know that they need to score, Kyle, but they need to string together some first downs just to get some confidence here offensively.
Yeah, you got to try to establish something here offensively. Certainly, not really getting anything going in the ground game. The passing game has not been sharp either. Credit, certainly the Pioneer defense for a lot of that too. But, you've got to get something going. And you mentioned Pioneers get the ball to start the second half. You'd certainly want to see QND get points on the board here.
Out of the spread, 2-by-2 the receivers. Anders sidecar right. McKay takes the snap. Has time. Fires, and it's complete to Ginnebacher for a short gain right at about the 35, 36-yard line. Mark it at the 36 for a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, QND.
With credit Alleman as well for really no yards after the catch.
Yep.
They've had guys right on these receivers right when the ball's caught. That time Ginnebacher along the sideline. But again, good coverage from Alleman.
2nd and 5, QND from their own 36. Ball on the left hash. Out of the spread, 3-by-1 the receivers, 3 of the near side. McKay takes the snap. Looking this way the whole time. Looking, now fires and arcs it off of Chappell's hands. Welper and Chappell in the same area. Chappell went for the ball, and I think it was intended for Welper, and Chappell basically deflected it away from his teammate.
That time they were trying to fake bubble route there, and I didn't see if it was Chappell or Welper who faked it, but the fake there, he just kind of carried it out and ran downfield, kind of on a wheel route, kind of a no man's land. So now that they drew it up, certainly don't want two receivers in the same area. It's going to put QND in a third and must-have here.
As the sun finds some room between some clouds here. 3rd and 5 QND from their own 36. Out of the spread, McKay takes the snap. Fires here to the near side. Has a wide open Zach Bailey for the first down. He protects the ball and gets to the 45. And that's a pickup of 9 and keeps the drive alive for QND.
You know, Alleman almost seems, you know, they're real content to really give up those short patterns on the outside. I mean, we talked about their corners lining up at about 10 yards. They will get up on the slot receiver, but those kind of 5-yard curls have been there for the most part for QND.
2.5 minutes to go, second quarter. QND trailing 14-0. The Raiders going to the plays on the wristbands here, although the Raiders have all 3 timeouts. They fake the swing to Anders, come back and hit Bailey,
Nice catch.
who picks up 8 yards on the play, maybe 9. Put the ball in Alleman territory at the Pioneer, 47. That's a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2, QND.
And kind of a back shoulder throw there. Bailey comes back to it. McKay really slung it out there. So that was a nice catch there from Bailey to get both hands up and catch it with his hands there. Didn't come into the body at all.
Catch it with his hands, stay in bounds. So 2nd and 2, QND from the Alleman 47. Raiders go spread, 3-by-1 the receivers. Anders sidecar left, ball on the right hash. McKay takes the snap. Looking, fires. They hits Chappell. They fake the Porter play. Chappell has the first down and gets rocked by the safety for the Pioneers, but Chappell has the first down at the Alleman 39-yard line, and that's a pickup of 8 more.
You know, actually, I think they wanted to go to the hook and lateral there, but
Right.
it was Kieran Murphy from his linebacker position was still on Dalen Anders. He didn't realize the ball was thrown. He was covering like he was still on a pass route.
Raiders take the snap, and they run that delayed draw to Anders. Anders gets arm tackle, but he breaks out of it, then fumbles, and is picked up by Aaron Murray, I believe, or did he lose it at the end? Well, Alleman got back on it. As they ran that delayed draw to Dalen Anders, he slipped 2 tackles, but then got the ball poked out of his arms, and Alleman recovers at their own 35, so the Raiders have turned it over twice here on this Saturday afternoon.
Well, really showing some nice rhythm offensively for QND. Really had a lot going there. And a timely turnover again as QND was on the march there. Really, by far, the best-looking drive today for QND.
And Anders did a great job to slip the 2 tackles, and then he tried to get to the far sideline. And just as he was getting to the 30-yard line, it looked, Kyle, someone poked it out of his arms from Alleman, and now the Pioneers are forced to call their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. We'll keep it right here. So QND, as you mentioned, Kyle, had a nice drive going, and I like the play call. I think that delayed draw was a good play call, and Anders did a good job, as I mentioned, to break a couple tackles, but then Alleman tackled the ball and not the man, and were able to poke it away.
Well, you're right. It was, you know, it's QND showing real good rhythm there in the passing game, trying to slow down that pass rush so you go with the draw play, and it was there. And what it looked like it probably would have set QND up with about a 2nd and 5 or so, maybe 2nd and 3. But ball gets poked away, and, you know, there's that Alleman defense being real opportunistic there. First turnover of the game, set up their touchdown here. It ends a potential scoring threat for QND.
1st and 10, Alleman. With the ball at their own, I believe they marked it at the Pioneer 34. Rock Island Alleman leading QND 14-0 with 2:05 left to go first half. Alleman does not have any more timeouts left. QND has all 3.
We'll see if this timeout comes up coming back to haunt the Pioneers here. You'd like to have at least one, especially since they want to go to the ground game so much. At least have one timeout here to call if you try to get points on before halftime.
So Alleman, after their timeout, has it 1st and 10 at their own 34. Hand it off, and it's bottled up for a 2-yard loss. Jake Ballkamp, Kellen Barnes, and Parker Kinsel all in the area.
Kinsel, the first one to get him there. Real good sure tackle there on Dorsey. Got both hands around him, squared up the tackle, and brought him right down.
Loss of 2 for Kylie Dorsey. Brings up 2nd and 12 for Alleman. Ball in the middle of the field. And they will snap it from their own 32, excuse me.
And they're in no hurry to, you know, they might try one inside fake and go deep, but certainly in no hurry to get these snaps off. They're really taking their time.
Out of the double wing. Ball in the middle of the field, as I mentioned. Give it to Connor Doak, and he's got room to run, and he'll end up with about 9 yards. They mark him down at the Pioneer 42, and that is a pickup of 9 for Connor Doak from the fullback position. And it will be 3rd and short for Alleman. 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, that time Doak able to get about 7-8 yards downfield before anyone got to him. It was
Yep.
Chappell, I think, tripped him up, but you know, they're just looking to get to that second level before anyone makes contact. That time he got 7 or 8 yards downfield.
Alleman taking their time in the huddle here, under a minute to play in this first half. Pioneers leading QND 14-0. Double wing on 3rd and 2. O'Keefe takes, keeps, turns the corner, has the first down and more, slips one tackle, but is brought down by Jordan Chappell at the Pioneer 49. That's a pickup of about 7, and it keeps the chains moving for the Pioneers.
Now, don't fall asleep here for QND's secondary. You know, they're not content just to run this clock out. You know, they might go to something where they start, kind of an option fake. Looks like they're running an option. All of a sudden, O'Keefe stops, drops back, and launches it downfield.
From their own 49-yard line, Rock Island Alleman has it on the left hash. Wishbone look. They turn, give it to Hubble, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage, but is able to carry that defender forward for a gain of about 3. Takes it to the Raider 47, does Matt Hubble.
Looks like that'll probably be the half here. It's under 12 seconds. No timeouts left for the Pioneers, so this will take it into halftime.
So we go the half with the score. Rock Island Alleman 14, QND nothing. Back in 3 minutes to talk about this first half. Alleman 14, QND nothing. You're listening to Raider Football on WTAD.
Natalie Stratton of Advanced Physical Therapy talks from the heart about building relationships with her patients.
We do develop relationships with people, and by doing that, they can trust you because they build that rapport with you so they can trust you, and they start to tell you more, and so you learn more about their medical condition or just their life condition, and so it does allow you to, direct them in different ways. And you're seeing some people 2 or 3 times a week, for that half hour to an hour of that one-on-one time. Plus, we love it. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm in the profession. I like those relationships with people. I see that as a success in treatment. If I can get people to trust me and trust what I'm saying, they're going to buy into what I'm saying. That's why, again, I try to go and do everything I can, new techniques or new ways or different approaches to getting people better. And the more I do that, then, again, you can kind of take people to that next level.
Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. On the web at advancept.net. Advance through life with Advance.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. The First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. That was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. My dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
Everyone has a story. This story is about Sandra. She's a teacher and she suffered from migraine tension headaches daily. Determined not to rely on drugs for relief, she turned to Advanced Physical Therapy for help. What can you learn from Sandra and her treatment at Advance? In the words of physical therapist Natalie Stratton.
A lot of times people are told that physical therapy won't do anything for migraines. There's so many different causes of migraines. There's different things that we can do that definitely help alleviate a lot of that pain, an alternative to maybe what you tried so far. The other thing, I know a lot of times people are like, I've tried everything, but I guess I would ask you, have you tried physical therapy? Have you tried, a different type of physical therapy? Because that is worth looking into because it may help you.
If you're dealing with frequent migraine tension headaches and think you're stuck, think again. Advanced Physical Therapy has helped many people say,
I didn't know I could feel this good again.
Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine on the web at advancedpt.net. Advance through life with Advance.
And they finally get the attention of a ball boy to take a ball out to Zeke Little so he can get this half started. 14-0 Alleman leads. Raiders will kick off, and Alleman will be going into the wind here to start the third quarter. Hasn't mattered much to Alleman whether they go into the wind or have the wind at their backs.
I think we'll see them almost keep it strictly on the ground. So we talk about the Raiders putting the ball in the air, a lot more here in the second half, and I think we'll see the total opposite from Alleman.
Raiders break their huddle, and Zeke Little walks up to the ball now, marches back to get his steps down. Alleman wearing green on green with white numbers, green helmets, and the white A on each side of the helmet. Raiders in their road white uniforms with blue pants, blue numbers, and of course the golden domes. Nice deep kick by Little, and that will go 4 yards deep in the end zone for an automatic touchback.
Yeah, not only 4 yards deep, and that was over in a corner too.
Yep, directional and deep.
Numbers.
So 1st and 10 Alleman from their own 20. Pioneers leading QND 14-0 as we will run our first play from scrimmage here in the second half. And boy, Kyle, it is getting dark and scary looking if you lean out and look to the left.
Yeah, you're right about that. Those are some dark clouds. A little bit of blue sky to the east.
So 1st and 10 Alleman. Out of the broken wishbone, they turn, give it to Dorsey. He started outside, cuts it back inside, and is hit and knocked down for about a 2-yard gain. And it looks like Jimmy Case again, and he's not getting up yet again. No, it was Kellen Barnes who made the hit and the tackle. 1 yard gain for Dorsey makes it 2nd and 9 for Alleman.
Well, credit, nice job there by Kellen Barnes. Nice hit on Dorsey. Dorsey able to kind of get off, bounce off it a little bit and fall forward, but Barnes really put it to him and knocked him off balance.
2nd and 9 Alleman from their own 21. Second play of the second half. Alleman trying to get their backfield settled. They do. Raiders blitz, and Alleman's able to run past the blitz but not get much yardage.
Okay.
Is that Dorsey?
It was O'Keefe, I think,
O'Keefe kept it.
I think O'Keefe kept it, and Luke Frieden was kind of the one that disrupted it. I'm not sure O'Keefe wanted to keep it.
I think Doak carried it, actually, Kyle, because he's the one that threw the ball back to the official.
Oh, okay.
But only about a half-yard gain. It brings up 3rd and more than 8 for Alleman on the 3rd play of the second half.
Either way, it wasn't a clean exchange. Credit Frieden for kind of collapsing on O'Keefe and Doak right at the point of exchange.
Single wing, they run the option, and it's there for Hubble. He's got room to run. He will get the first down and more. He's got 15, he's got 20, gets pushed up forward and gets to about the Raider 44. So Alleman dialed up the perfect play on 3rd and long. They ran the option into the near sideline, and now getting up late is Dorsey as he was grabbing at his shin just below his knee, but Hubble picks up 23 yards on the play, Kyle, and is over 100 yards in the game.
Yeah, that time it was Ginnenbacher coming on a blitz from the Raiders' left-hand side, went right after O'Keefe, and again, he pitches the ball right in stride there, and with Ginnenbacher kind of taken out of the play, then I mean just wide open downfield running there for Alleman, an easy pickup on the 3rd and long.
Kylie Dorsey still on the field. Dorsey has injured both his knees while he's been at Rock Island Alleman. And it's a leg injury here, but I wasn't sure if he was grabbing at his knee or something below the knee and above the foot, if you will, but we'll wait and see. They're trying to help Dorsey up, and he's not putting any weight on his left leg. And they're trying to figure out the best plan of action here to help Dorsey off the field because he's right in front of the QND bench. So if they try and take him off to the far side, they're really going to have to carry him a long way. And now they're just going to, I think, bring him off the near sideline. No, they're turning and going the other way.
Not wanting to put any pressure on that left.
And he's got a brace on that left knee to begin with. So Dorsey being helped off the field by a couple of trainers. But Matt Hubble picks up a first down, takes the ball from the Alleman 22 to the Alleman 45. 1st and 10 Alleman, leading 14-0. We've played 1 minute and 19 seconds of this 3rd quarter.
We'll see how QND adjusts the play calling. They're really on 3rd and 8. Other than putting the ball in the air, which you didn't think they'd probably do, option to the wide side of the field seemed like the logical call. Pioneers do it and pick up a big chunk of yards.
1st and 10, Alleman from their own 45, and O'Keefe keeps it. Hangs on to it, he's got 5, he's got 10, bounces it to the outside, he may take it to the house. He's at the 30, 25, 20. Welper trying to get the angle on him, can't. Touchdown, Kevin O'Keefe in Rock Island Alleman. Is there a flag down?
Flag down.
Oh, and the flag's lying 10 yards downfield at the Raider 45.
Jordan Chappell says it's going to be a hold. A nice play there by O'Keefe, by far his best looking running play.
And where the flag is laying,
Wow.
it'll basically be a do-over because the flag was laying 10 yards downfield. So we'll see how things shake down after this walk-off. Flag is at the 45, so if they walk backwards, it'll be 1st and 10 from the exact same spot, even though Dorsey just ran 55 yards for a touchdown. Holding on to Alleman. 10-yard walk-off. 1st and 10 Alleman from the 45 for the second straight play. The only thing lost there was time off the clock. Alleman out of the double wing. Ball on the left hash. O'Keefe keeps it now. Wanted to pitch it late but can't because of the penetration by the Raiders, Matt Horvath.
All right. There going Horvath, and you're right, he wanted to pitch the ball to Hubble and Brady Ginnebacher that time, bouncing out and covering Hubble on the pitch. So good decision by O'Keefe to keep that. Looked like it might have been an opportunity for a turnover for QND. He tried to pitch it, but kept it and took the loss.
Sorry about that. Good decision by O'Keefe. He definitely wanted to pitch it, but because he saw where Ginnebacher was on the pitch, man, O'Keefe figured, well, I'll just eat it and fight another day. And it's a loss of 6, as it turns out, back to the Alleman 39, 2nd and 16 for the Pioneers. They break the double wing. O'Keefe still has it, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Luke Frieden. Loss of 4 more. Back to about the 36. Let's see. Well, they mark it just over the 35. Well, we'll call it the 36. So a loss of 3 more. And the Raiders have really dialed up the defense here on 2 option plays. But guess what, Kyle? Do it again.
Yeah, that's 4 plays in a row where Pioneers have tried to get outside. So something they've adjusted, something they're seeing in this QND defense makes them want to get outside here as opposed to trying to get Doak established here. And by the way, O'Keefe might want to tell his coaches, hey, next time I go for a 55-yard touchdown run that's called back, don't call my number the next 2 plays in a row. I'm a little out of breath.
3rd and 19 from the Alleman 36. The Pioneers have it. They give it to Doak right up the gut, and he'll run hard and pick up 5, maybe 6. The near side linesman's pointing that his knee hit the ground at about the 41. So Alleman will punt it away, Kyle, for the first time today after Doak on 3rd and 19 picks up 5.
You get
6.
Yeah, you get a little idea for Connor Doak's toughness here. Normally you talk about to your running backs, go all the way until your knees are down. By that time, Doak was actually tackled and was still pumping his knees there.
So it will be a 4th and about 13 for Alleman. They snap the ball from their own 41. Punting into the wind, the Pioneers. Snapback is true. And the punt, and they run into the punter. And no flag is thrown.
All right.
What is going on here? How is that not roughing the punter? He must have got a hand on the ball.
He may have. It wasn't a real good punt from Doak. They might have said that Horvath, kind of got landed on. I'm not sure what the rule is there. I believe you still have to give the punter land a room to land, excuse me. Either way, no flag.
And they put the ball down at the Raider 32. So all in all, I can't believe the Raiders had the ball where they do at the 32. And Alleman got a decent punt away into the wind to punt of about, 30, 32 yards. The 1st and 10 QND from their own 32, first possession, second half. Out of the offset eye, Joe McKay under center. They bring Welper in motion. And they fake twice, and they're looking for the fish special. McKay heaves it downfield, trying to get separation, can't. Incomplete pass, as it was Chappell fighting with Ewald downfield.
Pretty good coverage there by Ewald again. Kept his eyes on his man. What the Raiders are hoping for on that is that you get those defensive backs with their eyes in the backfield, seeing the fake, and then seeing the fake reverse as well. Ewald doing a more disciplined job there, staying with Chappell all the way, and pretty good coverage there.
What does that tell you about the mindset of the QND coaches, though, that come out in the first play of the second half, run the fish special? It pretty much tells me, okay, we can't run our normal offense against these guys. We got to go to some trickeration. Out of the eye, they pitch it wide to Dalen Anders on 2nd and 10. Anders cuts, and he'll get about 4, maybe 5, takes it over the 35-yard line. So to the 36 for a gain of 4, brings up 3rd and 6 for QND. Dalen Anders, 5 carries, 11 yards.
You mentioned that play call from QND. I think it's a matter, too, of, you've got 2 quarters to make up 2 touchdowns. So you try to get, halfway there on kind of a not cheap one, so to speak, but a real quick one anyway, and and get that deficit cut in half as quick as he can. And Ewald there with the good coverage didn't let it happen.
3 to the near side, single receiver far side, out of the spread. McKay takes the snap and rolls here to the near side. Looking, still has it, brings it down, now fires, Leighton hits Bailey just inside the sideline. No! Or yes. The official decoyed me. He waved both arms over his head, but he was signifying out of bounds, not incomplete pass. Bailey catches just inside midfield. That's a first down for QND and a pickup of 14 yards. And Bailey's been the go-to guy here, Kyle. 3 catches, 31 yards.
Yeah, that time they were up on the line of scrimmage on Chapel. You know, Joe McKay just continues to do such a good job showing patience and giving his receivers just a couple more seconds there to make a play, and that time it paid off.
Ball at midfield, 1st and 10 QND. Trailing 14-0 are the Raiders. Alleman really stacking the box here. Long count from the Raiders. Turn, give it to Anders. He hits the hole, bounces off the pile, twists, turns, and gets pushed to about the 46-yard line. Far side linesman was standing right on the 46. Near side linesman standing right on the 45.
Yeah.
And they put it where, well, they kind of split the difference. We'll give Anders 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 QND with the ball just on their side of the 45-yard line. Talking about QND side.
You know, you mentioned Alleman, you know, really crowding the inside there. They're still sticking with their 5-2. Joke, one of the middle linebackers there. I mean, they're lining up at about 2 yards and just really lunging forward. I mean, they're almost getting reset because they're leaning so far forward.
Quick count, fake the double counter. McKay has it, stands, fires, and hits. Brady Ginnebacher, who eludes the tackle and gets the first down inside the Pioneer 40. Not much of a gain, Kyle, about 6 yards, but it keeps the chains moving. First and down QND at the Alleman 39.
Yeah, kind of a different, caught him off guard there a little bit. That time it looked like Tappy was in a tight end. You know, ended up getting probably a little bit too far downfield. That should be about a 10, 15-yard a crossing pattern there for him. Ended up a little bit too far downfield. Wasn't able to maybe throw a potential block there for Ginnebacher to free him loose.
Out of the eye, 2 receivers near side, ball on the right hash. And a McKay quick count, pitches it to Anders. Looks like he's got room. Oh, a nice play by the player out here for Alleman. Siskowski came up and forced the run. Looked like Anders had a blocker in front with a decision to cut either way, but Siskowski said, guess what, you're going down right where you're trying to make your decision, and it's a loss of 3 for Dalen Anders.
Yeah, Alleman's done a real nice job this afternoon of, you know, on their outside runs, seemingly having good blocking on the corners, good job on the outside linebackers, even if it's just guys in their face. That time it was 2 or 3 Pioneers had a shot at Anders, and Siskowski took him down for a loss.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 from the Alleman 42. McKay takes the quick snap, rolls, fires, and it's off the shoulders of Welper, incomplete, but great play by Ewald again to flash in front of Welper and distract him enough that he couldn't pull in the pass. So 3rd and long for QND, 3rd and 13 from the Alleman 42 coming up.
Yeah, Chapel was in the middle too. McKay wanted to go downfield further, and a nice job there by Ewald. You're right, it looked like it was going to be a catch. Welper was going to have a shot at it, but I think Ewald distracted him and was able to get the fly off Welper's hands.
11 of 20 for 81 yards for Joe McKay. 3rd and 13 for QND from the Alleman 42. Out of the spread. McKay takes the snap, looking at Chapel the whole way. Now fires it deep, looking for Chapel. Incomplete. Good coverage again by Alleman downfield. No separation at all for Chapel, working against the secondary player, and that was O'Keefe that time.
Yeah, doing a nice job there, O'Keefe was. I thought potential maybe for a little ticky-tacky pass interference. There's, you know, certainly some hands and shoulders that are going back and forth between Chapel and O'Keefe, but no flag, and the Raiders here will punt on a 4th and long. You know, it could have made it more interesting here if you could have made it a 4th and 2 or so, but the incomplete pass kind of makes it a no-brainer.
See if the Raiders actually punt it away. They snap it back to Little, takes his time, gets the kick away, and pounds it. And it died. Oh, it hits at the goal line and rolls in. So a 42-yard punt for Zeke Little, but a net 22-yard kick. But Alleman will take over at their own 20. 1st and 10, 5:24 left to go, 3rd quarter, and Alleman leading 14-0. So the Raiders got a couple of first downs on that drive, Kyle, but then the Alleman defense stuffs Dalen Anders on 1st and 10, and then the Raiders throw 2 incomplete passes from there.
You know, and you had a chance there. And again, a nice job by Ewald to cause incompletion there on the ball that went off Welper's hands. So, you know, again, QND, second pretty decent drive here in a row. They put Alleman back at their own 20, but unable to finish the drive. You know, again, a good opportunity here for QND. If you can force a 3-and-out, make Alleman punt from this end and against the wind.
Yes, 1st and 10 Alleman. They run the option. O'Keefe still has it, turns the corner. He's got 5, bounces off a hit. No, Chappell's able to bring him down, but O'Keefe gets 7. And it'll be 2nd and 3 for Alleman. And it looked like the Raiders ran their assignments pretty well there, Kyle, but O'Keefe, nobody touched him until Chappell came up and hit him 7 yards downfield.
Yeah, that time it was O'Keefe on the left-hand side, and you're right, it looked like they might have had it kind of snuffed out there for maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain, but O'Keefe just able to find a seam there. A nice sure tackle by Jordan Chappell in the open field.
2nd and 3, Alleman from their own 27. Pioneers leading 14-0. Single wing near side. And O'Keefe will run the option this way. He's hit, but he bounces off the hit. And then Blake Kilgebring comes up. 2 other Raiders there. And is that Tyler Marcus laying back
Marcus.
where he hit O'Keefe?
Yeah. No, it's Barnes.
It's Kellen Barnes. He's up on his feet, though.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's a right shoulder problem. They're going to mark O'Keefe down for a 1-yard loss.
The shoulder he was holding earlier. Excuse me, sorry about that. Earlier this half.
Left shoulder.
This time it gets him to come out of the game. So nice job by Barnes. Didn't make the tackle, but really disrupted the play and held up O'Keefe for his fellow defenders.
Got to get out of the drive here, do the Raider defense. Double wing, single receiver far side on 3rd and 4 from the 26. O'Keefe runs the option far side, pitches it late, gets it to Tomer, and Tomer's got the first down. Picked up 5, only needed 4. 1st and 10, Alleman.
Yeah, they've just been going to that on these 3rd down plays. I mean, I don't know if the Raiders think they're going to get Doak more involved, or, but you know, again on the 3rd and longer than 4, you pretty much know they're going to have to get outside.
1st and 10, Alleman from their own 31. 4:09 left to go. The clock stopped. They say Tomer was pushed out of bounds. So 4:09 left to go, 3rd quarter, and a new set of downs for Alleman. Leading 14-0 are the Pioneers. And now what do we have? Timeout, Alleman. We'll take it with them. We'll take a 1-minute break. Rock Island Alleman leads 14-0 over QND. Raider football on WTAD.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. But that was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. My dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
Left to go in the 3rd quarter. Rock Island Alleman leading QND 14-0. New set of downs for the Pioneers. 1st and 10 from their own 31. Kevin O'Keefe fumbles the snap. It's still loose. Brady Ginnebacher falls on it for QND at the Alleman 29-yard line. Wow, Kyle, it's bad enough that you fumble, but you fumble right out of a timeout you called.
Yeah,
Yikes.
right out of a timeout. They're trying to dial up a new wrinkle on the offense, but O'Keefe got a little bit anxious. Opened up to his right. It looked like he was trying to get outside, but forgot the most important thing, and Ginnebacher able to pounce on it.
Go ahead, Kyle.
The Raiders got to take advantage of the short field. Have to.
2 turnovers on each team. Alleman got a turnover from QND in the first play of the game with a short field, made it 6 points. Raiders need to answer. Anders comes in motion, leaving an empty backfield. Ball in the middle of the field. McKay takes the snap. Quarterback draw right up the middle of the field. He's got 5. He's got 10. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line for a gain of 12. Actually, a gain of down to the 17-yard line. Yeah, a gain of 12 for Joe McKay.
Credit Brady Miller doing a nice job there. Anders goes in motion. They try to get a linebacker to follow him. And then Brady Miller gets to the other linebacker to open things up for McKay. So QND with the momentum here, trying to get on the board.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Pioneer 18. They go to that double sidecar out of the spread offense and hand it inside to Anders. He bows out, now cuts it back. He's got 3, he's got 10. He's down to the 6-yard line for a gain of 12 more. First and goal, Raiders.
That time Ginnebacher as the lead blocker, kind of paving the way for Anders. Was able to get to that second level, so good job there by Ginnebacher to help open up that hole. So let's see QND get right back up to the line here and really keep this momentum going.
First and goal, Raiders from the Alleman 6-yard line. Austin Tappy checks in. Zach Bailey checks in as well. Raiders go power eye with Tappy, the tight end, far side. Bailey split to the near side, ball on the left hash. Anders the deep back. They bring Kinsel in motion towards the near sideline. Leaving an I formation, long count. Raiders turn, give it to Anders. He hits the hole, pushes, bends, twists, and gets about 2, maybe 3. From the near side linesman, I'm going to say 2. So second and goal, Raiders inside the 5-yard line.
Tell you, Alleman just absolutely daring QND to run to the right side there. They were really leveraged on Alleman's right, on QND's left. They just had about, so they really stacked on that side. If QND wants to go back to that power eye, I think we'll probably see him run a sweep or run something to the right-hand side.
Raiders come out in the spread here, Kyle, on second and goal from the 4. 3 receivers far side, single receiver near side, Ginnebacher, Anders side, car right from the left hash. McKay looking at Ginnebacher the whole way, slant pattern, touchdown.
There you go, senior to senior. Ginnebacher gets the fumble and finishes the drive with a touchdown catch. They went trips to the opposite side. Had Ginnebacher one-on-one. They went the slant pattern, and a good job by Ginnebacher in the catch, and then to hold on to the ball because he took a couple good hits there as he crossed the goal line.
Nick Lewis was the D-back there, Kyle, and he gave Ginnebacher the inside. And Ginnebacher just got his shoulder squared to McKay. McKay threw a bullet, and Ginnebacher catches it for the touchdown. Bailey for the extra point attempt. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it looks good, and it is. Brand new ball game, folks. 2:33 left to go, third quarter. QND takes advantage of a fumble and scores a touchdown. It's 14-7. Alleman leading QND back in 30 seconds on WTAD.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
Side of things here. QND getting a fumble from Alleman and going 29 yards on the drive, capped off by a 4-yard touchdown pass from Joe McKay to Brady Ginnebacher. Bailey with the extra point. 14-7. Alleman leads QND. Raider defense comes up big, Kyle, and they need to come up big for another 14 minutes and 33 seconds just to give themselves a chance to win the game.
Yeah, still lots of football left today. Really want to see QND come out in this drive here and make Alleman punt again against this win if they can, do it quickly here with only 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
And now Zach Bailey's going to have to hold the ball on the tee for Zeke Little, who on the second half kickoff pounded one 4 yards deep into the end zone with the wind behind him. Looks like the wind is now a crossing wind. Little goes with the low line drive kick that gets to the return man who makes a nice grab on it. And is still running. He's past the 30, and, well, he got to the 30, and then is knocked down at about 31. Looked like Walker Smith made the tackle for QND.
Hoskins on the return there, Brady Hoskins. And you're right, that ball was screaming coming in at him, and it's like a third baseman trying to catch a hotline drive.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Kyle. That ball caught him.
That's a good point.
That was a hard-hit ground ball where the infielder just puts his glove down and the ball somehow goes in the glove. So right where Alleman fumbled, Kyle, on their previous play from scrimmage, their own 31 is where the Pioneers take over here, 1st and 10. Double wing, single receiver near side, ball on the left hash. Hubble goes in motion, they go underneath the Doak, and he plows his way for about 9 yards to the 40-yard line, and that was just a burrowing effort by the fullback, Connor Doak.
Yeah, he was awfully low to the ground there, man, just able to stay off the ground and keep that pile moving forward. Hadn't seen as much of him in this third quarter, which is a little bit surprised me on those first couple drives, but Doak getting off to a good start here on this drive.
Much like last week, Kyle, when Muhammad came back and made it a game, it was Doak and O'Keefe that carried it every time on the drive. QND gets back in the game here. Doak carries it first play for 9 yards. Now O'Keefe gives it back to Doak. He's got 5, and he takes Ginnebacher for a little bit of a ride. Connor Doak ends up with 7 more yards, and just like that, Kyle, in 2 plays, Alleman gains 17 yards and has a first down.
Yeah, already almost out to midfield even. So now it's Alleman kind of in a nice rhythm here offensively, getting the ball back to Doak.
So 1st and 10 Alleman, and as Kyle mentioned, they go from their own 31 to their own 48 in 2 plays as we wind down the third quarter, 90 seconds left. 14-7, Alleman leading QND. Double wing, single receiver near side, ball in the middle of the field. O'Keefe gives it to Doak, bounces off the pile, and now gets about 3, maybe 4 yards. He's inside Raider territory. Logan Schudian on the play, along with Brady Ginnebacher. It's a short gain for Doak of about 3 to the 49 at QND, 2nd and 7 for Alleman.
That time, Doak kind of showing off a spin move there. He got hit about after about a 1 yard gain, was able to spin off a tackle off to the right-hand side and kind of lunge forward.
All right. My way of thinking here, Kyle, ball on the right hash for Alleman. Doak's carried it 3 straight times. Here goes O'Keefe to the far side. Hey, what do you know? I'm a genius. He keeps, and he's hit from behind and only picks up 2 or 3. He's tackled at about the Raider 46-yard line. Should he ended up with the ball, but O'Keefe just laid it on the carpet and got up.
Well, I agree with you completely. I mean, they haven't done really O'Keefe much of anything to the short side. I mean, they never really go outside to the short side. They're using the field every time. So I'm not sure if QND, I can't tell if QND's adjusted too much to that. I mean, it's certainly, you do call plays with your defensive lineman to slant one way or the other, so we'll probably see him slant wide.
Could be the final play of the third quarter. It's 3rd and a short 4 for Alleman. O'Keefe gives it off to Doak, and he's got the first down. Well, he sat down short of the first down. Oh, they're going to mark him short by about a half yard. If Doak falls forward, he's got the first down, but he landed on his wallet and then twisted. And they're going to have to measure here at the end of the third quarter. We've played 3 quarters. QND back in the game, trailing Alleman 14-7. We'll have the results of the measurement when we come back in 1 minute here on WTAD.
At Federated Insurance, loyalty begins at home.
Natalie Stratton of Advanced Physical Therapy talks from the heart about building relationships with her patients.
We do develop relationships with people, and by doing that, they can trust you because they build that rapport with you so they can trust you, and they start to tell you more, and so you learn more about their medical condition or just their life condition, and so it does allow you to, direct them in different ways. You're seeing some people 2 or 3 times a week, for that half hour to an hour of that one-on-one time. Plus, we love it. I mean, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm in the profession. I like those relationships with people. I see that as a success in treatment. If I can get people to trust me and trust what I'm saying, they're going to buy into what I'm saying. That's why, again, I try to go and do everything I can, new techniques or new ways or different approaches to getting people better. And the more I do that, then, again, you can kind of take people to that next level.
Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. On the web at advancept.net. Advance through life with Advance.
The ball twice to measure, but the result of the measurement is Alleman is about 6 inches short, so it's going to be 4th and short for Alleman. Now, Kyle, they have to pick up the ball again and walk for the change of quarters. So you don't know really how much Alleman has left to get.
Right.
I mean, they need 6 inches, but where are they going to put the ball down? I mean, how do you exactly measure that to make it accurate?
Well, it kind of worked out to Alleman's favor that they go into the quarter, they're able to regroup, and I'd be shocked if we don't see Connor Doak on this 4th down.
4th and inches to start the fourth quarter. 14-7, Alleman leading QND. Raiders with the only third quarter touchdown. Kevin O'Keefe, the quarterback, under his center. Turns, gives it to Hubble, and he gets the first down. He needed 6 inches, and he got about a yard and 6 inches.
Yeah. Gets
to the Raider 41, 1st and 10, Alleman.
Yeah, they elect not to give it to Doak. You mentioned Hubble, using Doak as the lead blocker instead. So, again, nice defensive play there from QND. But, when it's only 6 inches to get, they got to come up with something a little bit more. Again, Alleman just living off those short yardage situations.
Yep. 1st and 10, Alleman from the QND 41. Pioneers leading the Raiders 14-7. We've played 20 seconds of the fourth quarter. Double wing, single receiver here to the near side. Give it to Doak, and he's tackled by Hilgenbrink and Frieden after a gain of about 2. 2nd and 8, Alleman.
Yeah, nice job there by Doak. Again, was able to see that Hilgenbrink and Frieden were kind of closing into him. He could have had one more burst there to kind of run through the tackles a little bit and carry that duo for another yard or so.
Alleman took advantage of a QND turnover on the first play of the game. Had a short field, punched it in for a touchdown. Raiders get a fumble recovery against Alleman. Short field, punch it in for their touchdown. Alleman leading 14-7 on 2nd and 8. O'Keefe is tackled in the backfield as Ginnembacher read the option and got O'Keefe down to the ground before he could pitch it to Hubble. And if O'Keefe gets that ball to Hubble, Kyle, he's still running as Matt Hubble.
Yeah, I agree. At that time, O'Keefe just not quick enough able to get rid of it. Ginnembacher's coming hard and really selling hard on O'Keefe and all these option plays. That time was able to get to him so fast O'Keefe couldn't pitch it. So now Alleman well behind the chains, back on about a 3rd and 14. Again, the ball's somewhat to the middle of the field. The far side is going to be the Alleman left-hand side, so I think we'll either see option left or we're going to see Alleman put the ball in the air.
3rd and 14 for Alleman from the Raider 45, double wing. And they give it right up the gut to Doak, and he gets 5. To the 40 of QND, brings up 4th and 9, and leading by 7. Kyle, what do you do if you're the Alleman Pioneers here?
Well, kind of an interesting play call on 3rd down even. I think we'll see him punt and put QND, try to make him go against this wind. A real conservative play call, though.
Yes, it was. Alleman has thrown the ball 4 times today. They're 1 out of 8. Kevin O'Keefe is throwing the ball for 8 yards and an interception. So for the 2nd time today, Alleman will punt, and this time they have the wind at their back, do the Pioneers. Ball snapped from the QND 40. Snap is true, and the kick is away, and it's a high kick to the near side. And Parker Kinsel fakes out everybody on the Alleman cover team except for Stephen Ewald, who downs it inside the Raider 5.
Well, Pioneers get the bounce they wanted there. Ball lands about the 2.
That was Connor Doak punting, wasn't it?
Correct.
Boy, he got that ball, Kyle, right where Zeke Little wanted to put it. Only Little's punt hit at the goal line and run through the end zone. Doak's ball hit at the 3 and backed up, or hit at the 5 and backed up. So the Raiders, I think they're going to put it either at the 2 or 3 yard line. I think the 3 yard line. Oh, they're going to put it at the 5. They're going to say Alleman touched it at the 5. So it's 1st and 10 Raiders from the 6 is what the PA announcer said. So the Raiders gained 3 yards there. But regardless, the Raiders down 14-7 need to go literally the length of the field here to get a tying touchdown. Wind at their back, though. Well, it's a crosswind the way it's blowing right now. Raiders come out power eye because they're inside their own 10. 1st and 10 QND from their own 6. Give it to Anders. And he punches the ball forward to about the 9. Gain of 3 for Dalen Anders, who has 30 yards on 10 carries here today.
Yeah, kind of doing a better job here in the second half of, at least for the most part, it seems he's able to fall forward or get something workable, 3 yards 4 yards at a time here. In the first half, it really seemed there was a lot of 0 yard carries, or 1 yard carries.
2nd and 7 QND from their own 9 yard line, trailing 14-7. I formation this time for QND. McKay under his center, Jimmy Case. Long count from the Raiders. McKay takes the snap, turns, gives it to Anders. He jumps over the line of scrimmage and gets to maybe the 11 for a gain of about 2. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 4 for QND. 3rd and a short 5, we'll call it.
Well, certainly a big play here on 3rd down. You don't want to have to punt from the perimeter own end zone. And, only 8.5 minutes left here. So probably not many more possessions coming the Raiders' way.
Yeah, maybe one more.
Yeah.
From their own 11, QND faced with a 3rd and a short 5. Spread, 3 receivers far side, ball on the right hash. McKay rolls to that far side. Looking, fires across his body into traffic, and it's intercepted by Brady Hoskins. Hoskins has it at the Raider 25 and returns it out of bounds. No, he's still inside the sideline, or where? They're going to say he stepped out of bounds inside the Raider 10. And Kyle, you talk about McKay showing patience, looking for his receivers to finally break separation. That time he tried the same thing to Joe McKay, but he threw into triple coverage, and Alleman gets a turnover.
Yeah, nothing really open at all downfield. Real good coverage there by the Pioneers. And, instead of trying to throw the ball away or instead of, running and trying to pick up a couple yards, felt that he had to force it in there, and the Pioneers make him pay.
Third turnover of the game for QND. And Alleman has it inside the 10, leading 14-7 are the Pioneers with 8 minutes left to go in the game. They're looking to give themselves lots of room to exhale. First and goal from the Raider 8. Give it to Doak. He's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
That was the best tackle, the best save we've seen on Doak today. Yeah, Horvath just put Doak down right away. We haven't really seen that at all today.
The PA announcer said Kellen Barnes, but that was Horvath that hit Doak right between the numbers and drove him to the turf. So no gain on the play. Second and goal from the Raider 8-yard line for Alleman. Pioneers leading 14-7, 7:35 left to go in the game.
And really, Pioneers would even be content. I mean, obviously they want a touchdown, but they'd even be content to make a field goal here and make it a 2-score game.
Out of the double wing, O'Keefe. Keeps it, pitches it late, and lots of room to run for Dorsey. He steps inside the defender and scores. No, that's not. That's Tomer. Stephen Tomer, 31, not 35 Dorsey. Dorsey got hurt. Tomer got to the 6-yard line, Kyle, got Chappell to commit, and Tomer was able to step through the tackle of Jordan Chappell and take it to the house for an 8-yard touchdown run.
Well, credit, nice job there by Tomer. Not one of the normal running backs for the Pioneers, but is a senior captain and did a great job there in the open field to force the missed tackle. And Pioneers back on the board to go up by 2 scores.
Nathan Graves attempting the extra point, and he bangs it in. Brady Ginnebacher got a great rush on that, but Graves able to convert the extra point. So your new score, Rock Island Alleman 21, QND 7. Back in 1 minute, Raider football on WTAD.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. But that was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. My dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
Seven minutes and 19 seconds left to go in this contest. And Nathan Graves will put it back in action here for the Pioneers. And he goes with the angle line drive kick that will bounce to one of the Raider upmen. I think that's Zach Bailey with it. And he doesn't even get to the 20-yard line. So a nice, polite kick, if you'll pardon the turn of phrase, by Nathan Graves. Just a placement kick that went to one of the sidemen on the return team for QND. And they stop QND, do the Pioneers at their own 19-yard line. QND has it at their own 19. First and 10, trailing 21-7.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit coming out of halftime there. I think it's probably safe to say QND is going to have to go all through the air on this one. They're going to have to do it in a hurry. It's really 2-minute time.
All 3 timeouts left for QND. McKay takes the snap. Pump fakes right, coming back left, throws deep, looking for Chappell. Through his hands, incomplete. Good coverage again by Stephen Ewald.
They've really wanted to, that's the matchup, Pioneers really, they've put a lot of focus on Chappell. They've had a lot of guys up along the line of scrimmage, and Ewald has really been up to the challenge today. That time, great coverage again. Chappell had a shot at it, only because he was able to put on the brakes and make a real good kind of stop and jump for it. So good effort there by Chappell, but again, Ewald just all over in the coverage.
11 of 24 is Joe McKay for 85 yards here this afternoon. Out of the spread on 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen. It's intercepted by Alleman. And I think that's Aaron Murray who read the screen. No? That's Doak.
No.
It was Austin Murray, yeah. Aaron Murray. Aaron Murray read the screen, drifted back, kind of a zone blitz, if you will, Kyle. And Joe McKay throws 2 interceptions on his last 3 pass attempts, and Alleman has it inside the Raider red zone again, put the ball down at the 11. First and 10, Alleman looking for the knockout punch.
Yeah, nice job there by Murray, another senior captain for the Pioneers. Read the screen, dropped back, was able to sit with Anders. And again, you know, McKay probably wants to have that one back, probably one he could have thrown away, but, you know, he walks off the field a little frustrated with himself there, but what terrific play there from Aaron Murray.
1st and 10, Alleman from the Raider 11-yard line. Timeout, Alleman. Under 7 minutes to play in the game. Alleman leading 21-7 and has the ball at the Raider 11-yard line. We'll keep it right here.
You know, McKay comes into today's ball game with 218 pass attempts and only 4 interceptions on those 218. And as you mentioned, 2 interceptions in his last 3 attempts here.
11 of 25 overall for 85 yards. I tell you what, Kyle, I don't know if it's because of the way the front 7 is played for Alleman today, or if the secondary for Alleman is just as good. But everything I heard was the weakest part of Alleman's defense was their secondary. I haven't seen it today.
Well, it may very well be the weakest part, but only because, you know, that front 7 is so tough. So,
yeah.
You know, they set the bar pretty high to start with. We mentioned Connor Doak several times defensively as well. He's got, you know, Kier Murphy, the other linebacker, and number 51 doing a nice job. So, you know, we've talked a lot about the Pioneers' size as well up front. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, certainly up to the challenge. They played Muhammad Seymour last week, who likes to spread the ball around, spread their offense around. So 2 weeks in a row, they're doing a pretty darn good job against the pass.
Out of the Alleman timeout, they give it to Doak, who was lined up more as a halfback rather than the fullback. And he picks up about 4 or 5. See where they finally spot the ball. Looks like they're going to put it down at the 7, which is a gain of 4 for Connor Doak. I'll just let the PA announcer do my job for me.
Why work so hard? Yeah.
2nd and 6 from the 7 for Alleman from the QND 7 as Alleman looks to salt this game away. Out of the wishbone, double tight end as well. O'Keefe turns, runs into the setback Tomer, and Tomer is able to get to the 5. And they'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 or 4 for Alleman. So a gain of 2 for Tomer, who has a touchdown here. 6-yard touchdown run on Alleman's last possession, taking advantage of a Raider interception.
QND doing a nice job here defensively, not content just to let the Pioneers march through them and get this next touchdown. If hopefully they can keep them out here. You know, it still would be a 2-score game if QND could come up with a stop.
3rd and about 4 from the Raider 5, and O'Keefe runs the option, keeps it, turns the corner, and gets hit at about the 5 and falls forward to about the 3. So he's about 2 yards short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 2 from the Raider 3.
Jimmy Case, I believe, with the tackle on O'Keefe. So nice job there by Case. Obviously had the real scary moment there in the first quarter, but has been back in the game for a while since. As Pioneers send on the field goal unit.
I was going to
say,
say,
a 3-score game.
Alleman, from their point of view, it's inside the 4. From the Raider defensive point of view, it's outside the 3.
Ginnenbacher had a shot at that last extra point.
Yep.
Off the right-hand side of the Pioneers. He's lined up over there again with Barry Welper. They're going to have to kick it to the right.
From the left hash, it's a 21-yard field goal for Nathan Graves. Snapback ball down, the kick is up, and it looks like he nailed it. And he did. Nathan Graves with a 21-yard field goal. And Alleman has taken advantage of 2 Raider interceptions to score 10 points here in the last 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes, basically. It's a new score of 24-7. Alleman over QND, back in 30 seconds on WTAD.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
Have darkened literally and figuratively if you're a QND football fan here at Charles Lindbergh Stadium on the campus of Augustana College. Alleman has taken advantage of a couple of Raider turnovers, and the Pioneers lead QND 24-7 with 4:43 left to go in the game. Again, an angled kick by Graves, and the ball dies at the Raider 19, so Bailey has to pick it up, and he just gets it to about the 21 before he's shoved out of bounds. Talk about a home field advantage for Alleman here at Augustana Field. They know all the ins and outs of how to play on this field turf, and Nathan Graves has just done a great job of placing these kicks here.
Yeah, we mentioned the ball bouncing Pioneers' way a couple times in the first half on those fumble recoveries, and it's even worked itself on to special teams, once with a punt from Connor Doak that died at about the 2-yard line, and here on a kickoff.
So the Raiders trailing 24-7, 4:39 left to go in the game, take over at their own 22, and McKay tries to throw a slant, and it's knocked in the air and picked off. And it's picked off.
It's Lukowski, Andrew Lukowski.
So 3 interceptions on the last 4 pass attempts by Joe McKay. And Alleman sets up shop inside the 10-yard line again.
6'2", listed at 6'2", 237. It's another huge body. Andrew Lukowski, the junior lineman, knocks the ball up in the air and comes away with the interception. And when it rains, it pours here for QND in this fourth quarter.
Palmyra loses today to Blair Oaks by the final of 28-20.
Certainly a fine season for the Palmyra Panthers.
And right now, Kyle, if you're a tri-state area football fan, if Camp Point Central doesn't win, it was a black Saturday in the tri-state area. Now Alleman moves on first down, 1st and goal. They fire off the line of scrimmage. I think everybody on the right side of the center fired off early that time. So a great job by the Alleman defense today, Kyle. I think they kind of got in Joe McKay's head from this standpoint. Connor Doak kind of dropped and squatted a few times in the first half and knocked down some passes. And since then, Joe McKay's really thought about where he has to place the ball in those slant patterns. And just when Doak isn't knocking the ball away or deflecting the ball, the defensive line took over, and they've gotten 2 interceptions as a result.
And good athletic plays, too. I mean, they're really showing off some athleticism.
Out of the wishbone with a double tight end. They give it to Tomer, and he's wrapped up for a short gain. It'll be 2nd and goal inside the Raider 15, but not much further than that. Looks like they didn't even move the ball marker on the far side. 2nd and goal from the Raider 13 for Alleman. No gain for Tomer.
You mentioned the Central Panthers there a minute ago. They were losing at the half. 14-0 was a halftime score.
To Maroa Forsyth.
Correct.
Over by Decatur, in case you were wondering, or about to ask the question, I wonder where that is. 4 minutes left to go in this game. Alleman will probably take on the Rochester Rockets for the 3rd straight postseason. Double wing on 2nd and goal. Give it to Doak. He bounces off his own blocker and takes it inside the Raider 5 to about the 4. That's a gain of 9, and it will be 3rd and goal for Alleman from the Raider 4-yard line.
Inside about 3.5 minutes now, and the score may not end up. Excuse me.
Kyle is battling a cold, and because of his work schedule, had to travel this week, and that certainly didn't help Mr. Bimberlow try and talk his way through this football game. Out of the double wing, give it to Doak, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage on a great play by Brady Ginnebacher again. And there's been 2 or 3 times here in the second half, Kyle, that Brady Ginnebacher has just sold out against the run, and his gamble has paid off in a TFL.
Yeah, doing a really nice job. Really seems like, O'Keefe's done a nice job, but really seems to be tracking O'Keefe well.
QND calls a timeout with 3:09 left to go in the game. First timeout called today by the Raiders. So to reset, 3:09 left to go in the game, 24-7. Rock Island Alleman leads QND, and Alleman looking at a 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. It'll be interesting to see what the Pioneers want to do here, Kyle. The ball is on the opposite hash. It's on the right hash, which for the kicker Graves would be a very acute angle to try and punch that one through.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I think I'd just go for it here if I was the Pioneers. I mean, you force QND to go to the length of the field. You probably limit the opportunity for something goofy to happen on a bad snap or a block kick on the if they were to try a field goal. So I would anticipate they'll just try to go for it.
Rochester will take on Belleville Althoff. I think that game was scheduled to kick off at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So. Rochester likes to play those late afternoon, early evening kicks on Saturday. And how about Belleville Althoff? makes it to the 2A title game last year, gets bumped up to 4A, and they make the quarterfinals. So 4th and goal from the QND 5, and Alleman will go for it. They go to the double wing, double tight. Ball on the right hash. O'Keefe runs the option. He's hit in the backfield and brought down by Luke Frieden. So no touchdown for QND, or excuse me, for Alleman, and QND takes over on downs with 3:03 left to go in the game. 1st and 10 Raiders, but they'll start at their own 6-yard line.
Well, credit QND again for a nice defensive stand. I mean, they've been, here as things kind of got away from here with these interceptions, really flying around, doing a nice job defensively. It'd probably be easy at this point of the game or this point of the season to kind of decide, well, I guess this wasn't our day and kind of get mowed over, but really flying around still defensively.
And it kind of looked that way, Kyle, on 1st and 2nd down on that Alleman drive, but the Raider defense responded on 3rd and 4th down. So the Raiders take over. Ginnebacher goes in motion, leaving a sidecar right for Anders, and he takes the handoff and plows up the middle and gets about 6 yards to the 11-yard line. Actually a gain of 4. They started at the 7, not the 6. So Anders with 4 yards, and Kyle, Dalen Anders, 36 yards on 12 carries. Raiders going hurry up. McKay takes the snap, looking, has time, fires deep down the middle, looking for Welper. Incomplete. Good coverage by Brady Hoskins. Maybe some contact by Hoskins, but I'll say this, Kyle, for the 3 state tournament games, the officials have really let the receivers and secondary men battle each other and not throw flags.
Yeah, I agree. That time Welper had a shot at that one, but you're right, Hoskins, pretty good coverage. And, the Raiders have had a couple chances in the deep passing game and just unable to connect. Tried the fish special on the fake reverse there right out of the chutes to start the second half, and Chappell had a step or two on that one. That time Welper able to get behind Hoskins, but unable to connect on the deep passes.
3rd and 6 for QND from their own 11-yard line. McKay takes the snap, looking both sides of the field, now fires, and it's incomplete. I tell you what, that was lucky that O'Keefe didn't pick off that pass because he read McKay's eyes again, trying to hit Bailey here on the near sideline. And O'Keefe was just staring down his opposite quarterback, and I think Bailey made a pretty nice play, Kyle, to deny O'Keefe the interception.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, if that ball had been thrown a little bit lower, I'm not sure O'Keefe doesn't catch it in stride and get yet another interception here in this 4th quarter.
Would have been a short pick 6. 2:32 left to go in the game. 24-7, QND trailing. Raiders will go for it on 4th and 6 from their own 11. Out of the spread, 2-by-2 the receivers. Ball in the middle of the field. McKay takes the snap. Looking, fires over the middle. Picked off, dropped. Hoskins deflected it. Then it went off the hands of 7. And it will be Alleman's ball, turning it over on downs. 1st and 10 from the Raider 11, and I would imagine Alleman will just take a knee here, Kyle.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left, and seemingly this, ever since Connor Doak had a nice punt, seemed like ages ago almost now.
And you know what? That was a key play in the game.
5. Yeah, I mean, the ball hasn't gotten out of this end of the field ever since Doak's punt. I've been looking through this window the whole 4th quarter.
Yeah. Well, they don't take a knee, do the Pioneers, and they give it to Matt Hubble, who will take it to the house. Not much at the point of attack there for Matt Hubble, and he gets his 2nd touchdown run of the game, an 11-yard run. And Hubble is the back that came through today for the Pioneers, 117 yards on 15 carries, touchdown Rock Island Alleman, and they advance to the semifinals for the 3rd straight year. Right now, it's Pioneers 30, QND 7.
Now, Hubble comes into today's ballgame with 630 yards. We mentioned that before, and 200 of those were in week 1. So, I mean, the last 10 weeks, 220 of those. So, I mean, ever since week 1, he's only had about 400 yards, but a big game here today for Hubble.
Graves pounds through the extra point. That's the 3rd touchdown in 5 minutes of scoreboard time in the ballgame from Alleman. It's 31-7, Pioneers over the Raiders. We'll take a 1-minute break here on WTAD.
See it clearly. See it here.
Everyone has a story. This story is about Sandra. She's a teacher and she suffered from migraine tension headaches daily. Determined not to rely on drugs for relief, she turned to advanced physical therapy for help. What can you learn from Sandra and her treatment at Advance? In the words of physical therapist Natalie Stratton.
A lot of times people are told that physical therapy won't do anything for migraines. There's so many different causes of migraines There's different things that we can do that definitely help alleviate a lot of that pain, an alternative to maybe what you tried so far. The other thing, I know a lot of times people are like, I've tried everything, but I guess I would ask you, I mean, have you tried physical therapy? Have you tried, a different type of physical therapy? Because that is worth looking into because it may help you.
If you're dealing with frequent migraine tension headaches and think you're stuck, think again. Advanced Physical Therapy has helped many people say,
I didn't know I could feel this good again.
Advanced Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine on the web at advancedpt.net. Advance through life with Advance.
Action here and another squib kick by Alleman, and this time Chappell went over to where Bailey was in the return unit, and on the bouncing ball it hit Chappell in the knees, then the chest, and then went to the ground, and Chappell just went down with the ball and covered it up to keep possession. So, boy, that squib kick over towards the far sideline, Kyle, has worked wonders for Alleman here. Not that they've needed any help here in the fourth quarter, leading 31-7, the Pioneers over the Raiders.
Yeah, things have turned south pretty quickly here for QND as they just couldn't get out of this corner here on this west side of the field. And interceptions and turnovers really costing QND in this fourth quarter.
Empty backfield for the Raiders. Joe McKay takes the snap. Looking, pressure from Diab, gets around Diab, has room to run, but he wants to throw it, throws it deep downfield, and Welper pushes off and makes the catch. And he's inside the Alleman 30 to about the 29. That was the old Dreer-Pearson push-off, and a big game for the Raiders from their own 25 down the Alleman 29-yard line.
Yeah, real nice connection there. That time McKay on the run, avoids a sack from Diab, rolling to his right then, and able to kind of just loft right over the defender's head. Welper doing a nice job going up to get it. Had a nice jump and then caught it, able to bring it down.
First catch of the game for Welper. Goes for 47 yards. McKay takes the snap, looking for Anders on the swing route. Gets it to him. Anders lowers his shoulder and is tackled by Stephen Ewald for a gain of 3.
Nice open field tackle there from Ewald. I thought Anders might have had a little bit of room there to try to juke outside and kind of almost gave himself up there a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
I guess he thought Ewald kind of had him cornered in there and had the inside help, or had help coming from the inside.
Out of the spread, 3-by-1 the receivers, 3 to the near side, and McKay rolls out to this near side. Stands up, fires, and completes it. Well, he dropped that to Chappell at the end, but I think they're going to give him the catch.
I think the Pioneer defenders shielded the referee.
That's a gain of about 7, and it's going to bring up 3rd and about 1 for QND. A gain of 6, actually. 3rd and 1 for the Raiders. Out of the spread, McKay takes the snap, fires it out. They set up a wide receiver screen for Welper. He's got the first down, and he's driven out of bounds by Ewald at about the Pioneer 13-yard line.
New look there from QND. It tried to look like they wanted him to go inside there. Chappell wanted to get back outside. Not a bad decision. Is able to get the first down and stop the clock.
Gain of 6 on the play. Gives the Raiders a first down. McKay's hit his last 4 passes after missing on his previous 8. 147 yards passing here, but a lot of those coming here on this last drive of the game. Out of the spread, 2-by-2 the receivers. Ball on the left hash for QND. Chappell comes in motion across the formation. McKay throws it out here to Chappell. He's got it inside the 10, lowers his shoulder, gets pushed forward to about the 3-yard line. And that'll be a 1st and goal situation for the Raiders, I think. Well, the far side linesman stopped right at the first down marker. So it looks like a gain of 9 for QND. No, now they flip it over and they say 1st and goal QND. So a 10-yard pickup on the pass to Chappell. And McKay already has it. Looking, fires it high, but a nice catch.
Wow.
By Barry Welper for the touchdown.
I'm not sure there almost looked like there might have been a mix-up between Welper and Ginnenbacher out there on the left-hand side. They lined up in a twin set on the left-hand side. Both of them kind of ended up in the same spot. McKay just fired that ball. Almost kind of looked like it ended up as a slant route. And then Welper, again, second great catch on that drive to go up and climb the ladder and bring that one down.
And the Raiders will go for 2 here, trailing 31-13. And the Raiders go power I on this 2-point conversion. Ball in the middle of the field, seeing receiver far side. Ginnenbacher goes in motion towards the far side. The Raiders turn, fake. McKay still has it, looking for Ginnenbacher. Fires it out there in the flat, and it's incomplete. As good coverage out there by the linebacker. Really had to throw it in a tight window, and Joe McKay couldn't complete it to Brady Ginnebacher. So your new score with 42 seconds left to go in the game. QND trailing Rock Island Alleman 31-13. Back in 30 seconds on WTAD.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
113 to Rock Island Alleman with 42 seconds left to go in the game. So it's simple, Kyle. Onside kick, get it, score. Onside kick, get it, score. Onside kick, get it, score. All in 42 seconds.
I think we need you out there. I think we need you out there if it's that simple.
There are miracles, Kyle, and then there's divine intervention. If what I just went through actually happened, that would be divine intervention.
I will definitely have lost my nose by then if that would happen.
Raiders have the hands team out there. And it looks like Valey will kick it as all 10 of the other Raiders, besides Valey, lined up between Valey here and the near sideline. And Valey goes with the kick. It's a beautiful onside kick, but it's recovered. I think that's Brady Hoskins. 38. No, it's 38, not 28.
Zach Sheets.
Thank you, because he's not on the roster I had. So
sophomore defensive back.
Alleman will take over at their own 45, and they will win this quarterfinal matchup. So the Raiders' season will come to an end, and the Rock Island Alleman Pioneers will probably take on the Rochester Rockets next week in the semifinals at Rocket Booster Stadium, provided Rochester can defeat Althoff. And Alleman in victory formation. O'Keefe takes the snap, takes the knee, and the Raiders call a timeout. I guess you don't go home with timeouts, Kyle, even if you're trailing by 18 points.
It's going to be a tough one to kind of swallow here for QND. QND didn't play their A game, and maybe they didn't play, well enough here to beat the Pioneers. But they really caught some. I mean, Pioneers had one turnover that helped set up the Raiders' first touchdown, but QND just kind of having some tough, goofy things go against them today that were ultimately insurmountable, and then some.
Well, if you play adequately, not good, not great, not excellent, but adequately, and you don't get a couple of bounces, you're going to lose 31-13.
Well, I mean, certainly the game was quite a bit closer there. Raiders had the ball down by a score, albeit with not good field position, with half a quarter left, and that's when things really fell apart for QND.
O'Keefe takes a knee again. Raiders have one timeout left. Do they burn it? Yes, they did. Or did Alleman call timeout? No, QND did. That's the third and final timeout, so O'Keefe will just take a knee one more time, and that'll do it for the ball game. 31-13. QND will fall to Rock Island Alleman, but I tell you what, Kyle, a lot of disappointed players, disappointed fans, both here in the Quad Cities and at home listening. But if you had told me that QND would make the quarterfinals of the football tournament before the season, I would have looked at you and said, there's a lot of rehab clinics we can probably get you into. Which one would you like to attend?
It was a real neat year for QND. I mean, a good job here by these seniors to kind of really bring this team together after a tough week 3, the loss to Elias. But I mean, this year for QND includes victory over Hannibal and Macomb and Pittsfield and Illini West. All big rivals, and certainly 2 real nice victories in the playoffs as well. And just things didn't go real well on a Saturday here in Rock Island.
So the Alleman Pioneers will get a chance to square off with the Rochester Rockets for the 3rd straight season. Last 2 years in the championship game. This year in the semifinals. The final score: Rock Island Alleman 31, QND 13. Back in a few moments. This is Raider football on WTAD.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
What's a podiatrist? A foot doctor. A foot doctor? I didn't know there was such a thing. There is. 25 years ago, I started out with a business plan and a dream. I went to 3 area banks. First Bankers Trust said it was great, and they asked me if I wanted more money than what I was asking for. But that was the start of my relationship with First Bankers Trust. My dreams have come true.
First Bankers Trust, your bank of dreams.
In the past,